Happening now, pain at the pumps as gas prices continue to rise around the nation, and here at home, a look at where things stand. And is a political comeback in the works for Andrew Cuomo? We hear from the former governor who spoke publicly for the first time since leaving office. Plus, more from our local congressman about the war in Ukraine, why they say the U.S. should be doing more to stop Russia.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The latest look at our local and regional news is coming up. But first, let's get a check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter and Company has been busy throughout this past weekend, Dakota, as we dealt with incredible temperatures, truthfully, and some pretty high winds, too.
Yes, we did. I mean, Sunday was a smorgasbord of weather. We had it all with the sunshine, some rain, and the winds to go along with it. And take a look at these peak wind gusts from yesterday. 55 miles per hour was the peak wind gust at the Mesonet site in Fredonia. 53 miles per hour at the Dunkirk Airport. 43 here in town. 43 Randolph. 42 Lakewood, and 40 in Clymer. And the highest wind gust I found across all of the region was in Rochester, where they clocked a 72 yesterday, and that's non-thunderstorm winds, need I remind you. So, whoo, man, it was windy and it was warm yesterday. The warmth this time of the year always comes with a price, and the price was the wind. 67 yesterday. How about 71 in Warren, 68 in Randolph, 68 in Clymer? You can say goodbye to them because they're gone for now. Now, we've had some rain showers moving on through. We're kind of in a break now, but we are going to see more rain showers developing through the afternoon hours. So here's the breakdown for today. Scattered rain showers, some patchy fog through the afternoon. Turns colder later in the day. 45 to 53 will likely end the day, probably around the lower 40s to upper 30s with a southwest wind. Now, we do have a little shot of some snow on the way for tonight and then into tomorrow. Then temperatures up and down again. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota, we'll see you back here in just a bit. Thank you. Well, the average price for a gasoline in Chautauqua County continues to rise, increasing to 8 cents from over the weekend alone. As of this morning, AAA reporting the county's average is at $4.14, not up from $4.06 from Friday morning. Specific stations here in the Jamestown area are selling gas for even more, like the Quick Fill on Fairmount Avenue, reporting in at $4.19 a gallon, according to GasBuddy.com. Gas prices continue to go up around New York State and the nation as well. The average price statewide is now 19 cents higher at $4.26. That price up 46 cents from the week before. This time last year, it was $2.83. The national average is now $4.07, which is up 46 cents from last week. This time last year, the price for a gallon of gasoline was $2.72 nationwide. Oil prices, according to AAA, have reached the highest level in over a decade, and as of Monday morning, oil prices were listed at $124 a barrel. While gas prices do remain high, AAA says drivers can conserve fuel by mapping out their routes, avoid peak traffic times, using cruise control when possible, and of course, combining your errands into one trip. It's also recommended that drivers make sure that their tire pressure is at the recommended level for the best gas mileage. You should also remove any bulky or unnecessary items from your vehicle, since it requires more fuel to accelerate a heavy car. State Senator George Borrello is calling on the Democratic-led state Senate to honor 2 fallen police officers by making real changes that will protect those who serve. Our Julia Gress with more on his call.
To my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, you are in a unique position today. You're in a unique position to physically look into the eyes of these families. And I hope that it motivates you to set aside the politics and the rhetoric. I hope that it motivates you to look at the tragedy that we have seen happen and to fix what this legislature has broken when it comes to law enforcement and the safety of our law enforcement officials.
Earlier this year, New York Police Department officers Wilbert Mora and Jason Rivera were shot and killed while responding to a domestic incident in Harlem. To curb the increasing crime rates, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, a former police captain, is reintroducing plainclothes officers, which had been disbanded 2 years ago. Some critics derided plainclothes units for years as counterproductive and argued they were a relic from the stop-and-frisk era of policing, used instead as a bludgeoning tool that more negatively affected black and brown communities. Senator George Borrello, however, believes there is more the state can do to decrease violence against officers.
Actions are what counts. And if we want to honor these fallen police officers, those actions mean fixing what we broke here in this chamber.
The push to crack down on crime is a popular discussion for Borrello, who has made his stance on bail reform clear. The senator explains that the law hurts victims the most, decreasing their faith in the criminal justice system. The first step to fixing this, according to Borrello, is by returning judicial discretion, something that must be a bipartisan effort. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
So far, Borrello believes Democrats will step up, like Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown and New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who have pressured their own party to change that law. Well, SUNY JCC's nursing curriculum is ranked among the best educational programs in New York State. That's according to the Nursing Schools Almanac, who released their annual ranking, placing SUNY JCC's degree at 25 out of the 68 programs evaluated. The placement is determined by students' performance based off of a 10-year span. Jamestown students taking their first licensure exam passed at over 88% over the past decade. In May 2020, the program had an 86% pass rate, 2 percentages higher than the statewide average. In the years before that, the school's pass rate was 94% in 2019 and 95% in 2018. Well, the Chautauqua Striders finished up their final race over the winter season over this past weekend, with many participants hungry for that warmer weather. Our Bronson Rasmussen ran alongside them.
The Winter 5K series includes 5 races, spread over the wintry months, with the hopes of keeping the community active during a time where there are not many options available. Executive Director Jen Swanluch touts a diversity of participants, with those of different sizes, shapes, and even ages taking part.
This series is available to any runner. We do Younger participants have come to run, but we generally have them with their parents, but anybody can do it.
Sunday's race had a total of 30 runners, but close to 70 have signed up for this year's race. The many participants were happy to have completed the 5K and are already looking forward to next year.
It gets you out and moving in the middle of winter, and it always helps to be with other people.
The races bring out all different types of people, including 79-year-old Mac McKenzie, who tells us she enjoys the exercise.
I'm almost 80, and I just want everybody to know being 80 or older is no reason to stop running. All you need is a good pair of shoes.
Preparations for next year's run are already in the works, with those with Striders encouraging prospective participants to sign up.
This is definitely an event that we will run again next year and into the future. As long as the runners still show up and have interest in it, we'll be here ready to help them out.
Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. Now, it was a great day for both Buffone and McKenzie, who finished 39th and 14th, respectively. Wow. Almost 80 years old, finished 14th. Incredible. As WNY News Now continues, an update on this major baby formula recall and how it's impacting families in our region. And later is a political comeback coming for Andrew Cuomo. We hear from New York's former governor who spoke publicly for the first time in months. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, there's a limited stock of baby formula on store shelves across New York, and to make matters worse, the Food and Drug Administration recently announced a recall on Similac, powdered infant formula. A mother in our region is now speaking out about how the problems with baby formula are impacting her and her 9-month-old baby. WENY's Alexandra Dern has the story.
It's been really hard because you go to the stores, you can't find formula anyways before it was recalled. So it's hard to find anyways. Then when you do find it, there's a recall on it and your child can't have it. So it's just very stressful.
According to the FDA and CDC, a variety of Similac baby formulas have been recalled. A local mother, who asked not to be identified, has had a difficult time adjusting. She's been feeding her baby Similac for the past 9 months. Now, she is consulting with her baby's pediatrician to find an alternative.
It's been very hard because my baby was on a specific formula for her specific needs. So it's been hard finding a substitute for that.
She says she is worried and stressed about this.
It's just nerve-wracking because now that one's becoming hard to find as well because of the recall on different brands. People are transferring over to that brand now. So they're just trying to find some alternative somewhere.
And on top of the recall, she's also experiencing one other issue with baby formula, a shortage. She says she's driven close to 2 hours searching for other brands.
We were having to drive from store to store to find it. Walmart has been out of the Similac Alimentum for over 4 months now. And then there's certain stores that only get maybe 6 cans a month.
She explains, with this urgent need, her pediatrician is stepping in to help supply her with some baby formula cans.
There's mothers out there right now that are in mass panic because some of them, their babies can't tolerate other brands. They have to have that specific one, and if they can't find it, then what are they supposed to do?
We asked our viewers to see how widespread the problem is here locally. People have said they have been having a hard time finding brands such as Similac and Neo-Cape, and the shelves have been looking pretty bare at locations across the southern tier, especially Walmart.
Alexandra, thank you for that update. An agreement that would commit hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer funds to build a new stadium for the Buffalo Bills is approaching completion, with state leaders confident a deal will be struck before the end of this month. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says many of the issues have been resolved, with discussions now focusing on what she's calling the nuts and bolts. One outstanding issue she specifically mentioned on Friday was the length of the lease to ensure the franchisee's long-term presence in the Buffalo region. Hochul wouldn't provide any details on what the taxpayer commitment would be for the new facility. The state estimates it will cost $1.354 billion to construct. The expected the bills are seeking more than 60% of funding to come from the public to build the proposed 60,000-plus seat stadium across the street from their current one in Orchard Park. Negotiations between the Bills and the state and Erie County began last summer, and Hochul, facing an end-of-the-month deadline to get an agreement in place to have the stadium commitment was included in the state budget which is due in early April. And we're hearing more from New York State's former governor who resigned last year over sexual harassment allegations. Andrew Cuomo spoke publicly for the first time in months, hinting at a political comeback. The Democrat made a campaign-like stop at a Brooklyn church on Sunday, delivering a speech in which he condemned cancel culture. The public appearance, his first since leaving office, came a week after Cuomo's campaign launched a digital and television advertising push, a similar message. He was driven from office unfairly. Cuomo quoted the Bible several times as he described his pains when he went from the offensive to attack the political sharks, he calls them, in Albany, saying they smelled blood and exploited the situation for political gain.
Why did they announce to the world 11 legal violations by me when the district attorneys showed they couldn't even prove one case? You know why? They wanted to create a shock value. They wanted to inflame the cancel culture. They wanted to light up the internet. They wanted to stampede the press and the politicians. They wanted to do with politics that which they couldn't do with the law.
Now, he acknowledged his behavior wasn't appropriate, but quickly added that nothing he did violated the law. He hasn't said he's running for office, but is still sitting on a multi-million-dollar campaign fund, which he could use to finance another run. Well, with rising gas prices nationwide and here at home, you might be thinking of getting a hybrid or maybe even an electric car. WNY News Now's Molly Samora has more on why electric vehicles are starting to become so popular.
Actually seeing with the high gas prices that people are taking action.
Owner of Auto Express Kia, Joe Askins, tells me with gas prices rising, they're stocked and ready to help customers get an electric vehicle.
3 electric vehicles that they offer, and we have 2 of these new EV6s arriving within the next few days, which that's Kia's newest creation. And so we'll definitely be stocked up with a good choice and good selection to fit most people's needs.
Just last week, Richard Kress from Waterford drove out of the lot with a brand new electric car. While he tells us it's been in the works for a while now, with gas prices on the rise, he couldn't have bought it at a better time.
7 EVs come down pretty close to like a regular car. And then there's also tax credits out there that further reduce that cost. And then when you look at where gas prices are now, it starts to makes a whole lot of sense.
If you're worried about charging up the vehicle, Kress tells me it's easier than you think.
At first, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of stations, but now there's actually one like a mile up the street at Walmart that's a fast charger that works with these. So.
Auto Express Kia says they expect hybrid and electric vehicles to become more popular in the next coming weeks, especially if gas prices continue to rise.
Look at our brands. They're expecting the growth that they're going to experience this year to come from the hybrid and the electric vehicles.
Molly Samora, WNY News Now.
Molly, certainly a conversation that's ongoing. Coming up, we hear from our local congressional reps as the war in Ukraine rages on, what they have to say about the U.S. stepping in to do more. And later, it's looking more and more like spring across our region. Well, maybe not today, but the latest from a local zoo who has opened their doors. But first, of course, our full weather forecast next as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Let us know your thoughts. Are you going to buy an EV? Let us know. But in the meantime, let's take a live look over the Mayville Skycam. And where's all the snow? Yeah, it's gone. And we've got those cloudy skies overhead with some rain showers approaching once again. And the warm temperatures over the weekend help to continue melt some of the ice out on Lake Erie, but there still is some ice out there. Notice some ice here, basically across Erie County, Pennsylvania, just offshore, and then up towards the mouth of the Niagara River, going up towards Buffalo. The ice concentration's down to 52% as of today. This satellite imagery was updated as of yesterday, so this is what the lake looked like yesterday. But whoa, big contrast in temperatures here. We got 39 here in town, 40 in Fredonia, 46 in Clymer, 55 still in Bradford, Pennsylvania, 46 in Sheffield. Now, even though once you work out further to the east, the temperatures are warmer there, it is quite a bit colder than it was yesterday. This is the temperature change over the past 24 hours. We're 25 degrees colder here in town than we were as of noon hour yesterday. 19 degrees colder in Clymer, 33 degrees colder in both Dunkirk and Erie. So it is a much colder day out there, and we are going to see some rain showers returning once again. The radar showing you that we've got a little bit of a break now, but there's still some rain showers. These are basically fast moving rain showers, and we're going to see these rain showers on again, off again through the day today. This is the reason why. Two areas of low pressure attached to the storm system, and the storm system is going to throw potentially some severe weather down to our south, but all of those issues should stay to our south. That's the good news, at least for us. But for the day today, you're going to see these rain showers uptick, and there could be some moderate downpours at times, with the yellow shades popping in there. Notice the cold, there's going to be another cold front sweeping through. Notice how we go from rain to wintry mix, then to snow as we go through the overnight hours. Then we'll see likely just a few scattered snow showers for tomorrow. Colder, but I do think much of the day will be dry though. And then by the time we go into Wednesday, we should hopefully hang on to the dry skies on Wednesday. But temperatures still, we know we're going to be nowhere near the 60s for at least a while down the road. So temperatures today, likely the cooler spot today is going to be near the shoreline. So once you work towards the Lake Erie shoreline, you'll likely stay in the 40s all day, lower to mid 50s once you work inland with some rain showers and some patchy fog through the afternoon hours. Now the next 7 days powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So colder day tomorrow, 35. Wednesday, we are going to call it mainly dry, but we do have a shot for a couple isolated rain and snow showers in there. Some sun Thursday, 45. Temperatures fall Friday, 50 and falling, likely ending the day in the upper 30s. Saturday will not budge too much, lower 30s with some light snow showers, and then down to the upper 20s again, Justin, by next Sunday.
Oh gosh, you're going to really have to bundle up after having this heat wave moving through our area. Dakota, thank you. Around the nation now, the U.S. Sergeant at Arms has issued an emergency declaration for Capitol Police in response to the trucker convoy in Washington, D.C. He says there's concerns that this so-called People's Convoy could snarl Washington's traffic so much that police wouldn't be able to get to the Capitol. An armada of truckers and supporters circled the D.C. Beltway yesterday for 4 hours, protesting pandemic restrictions. The convoy of hundreds of trucks, cars, and SUVs traveled in a deliberately slow-moving formation which stretched roughly 30 miles. Capitol police officers are being urged to use public transportation or Metro Rail to try to get to work to allow plenty of drive time. Now, the organizers of the convoy say their goal is to be a huge pain. As the convoy protest continues, many of the COVID-19 mandates at federal and local levels have now been blocked by a court or rescinded. And the global death toll for COVID-19 has reached 6 million people today. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. It comes 4 months after the world reached a 5 million death mark. The U.S. has reported the highest number of deaths with more than 958,000, followed by Brazil, Russia, and Mexico. Experts say, based on CDC data, the U.S. may be in for a near-normal spring and summer, and say the move from pandemic to endemic appears to be accelerating. Well, some good news there. Well, Russian forces press further into Ukraine. Deaths on both sides are continuing to rise, and officials are estimating more than 1 million Ukrainian refugees have now fled. Our local congressional members are telling our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp the U.S. can do more to prevent this situation from escalating further.
As Russia continues to push into Ukraine, our local congressional members say the U.S. can do more to stop Russian President Vladimir Putin's continued attacks on Ukraine. For starters, they say the U.S. should stop buying Russian oil.
Well, if they didn't get $65 million a day, they wouldn't have that much money to spend on waging war, would they? I mean, it's really not a hard equation, you know. They're getting revenue because Joe Biden has poor policy that made us dependent on that oil and that energy.
Congressman Tom Reed says the U.S. should welcome Ukrainian refugees.
We're also getting briefed on reports, women and children being pulled out in the streets and just literally shot in front of their families to try to intimidate them to stand down and just commit that evil to try to get that Ukraine army to back off. And kudos to the Ukraine army, inspiring. The leadership of Ukraine through this is reigniting my faith in humanity to stand up for what's right. So when it comes to humanitarian aid, we should have all available resources here in America open to those individuals. Also, we need to partner with our European allies on the front line because they're going to receive the initial flux of the people coming in.
They say the world, including other potential aggressors, are watching how we react.
There is a global crisis taking place right now in our Western Hemisphere, in Africa. Taiwan will be the next concern, and China will be very aggressive with it. We just have to make sure that the position that we put up is clearly understood by those who wish us harm, that there is no fight we will not fight, there is no price we will not pay to remain free. And I just think that's an important thing for people to know. And our allies and friends, if they know we're that committed, then they need to get on board too.
At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Finally here today, a sure sign that spring is on the way is the Erie Zoo reopening for the season. Erie News Now's Elvis Meisner takes us inside the free celebration from over the weekend and has a look at what visitors can expect for the rest of the year.
People anxiously waited in line for the gates to open for the grand reopening celebration for the Erie Zoo.
We're just excited for the animals to be able to see all their visitors again.
After a long winter, both the animals and the zoo staff were excited to have visitors back on the grounds.
My favorite part is having fun with my family and seeing all the animals, because all the time they get new things.
And while the Erie Zoo is excited to welcome back visitors, they're also looking forward to the warmer weather, so they continue to work on more projects all around the zoo. This comes as they're looking to reapply for accreditation from the Association of Zoos and Aquariums.
Going really hard in prepping our zoo this season, really going above and beyond. We have some new exhibits that we are going to be revealing, some new exhibits that we're going to be renovating and working on.
As parents and children enjoy the different animals on opening weekend,
really just looking at the animals.
Staff at the zoo are already looking for ways to make it better.
So going to be doing a lot of stuff to enhance the visitor experience and just make ourselves more accessible to our community.
And while there were lots of smiling faces on Saturday, The zoo wants to continue to make those smiles happen with their new advances and upgrades.
We're really working towards that next chapter, pushing our zoo forward into the future and making it a sustainable place for our community to enjoy.
Elspeth Meisner, Erie News Now.
Oh, Elspeth, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we have more info on the zoo's schedule for this coming year at WNYNewsNow.com. Really great to see all those smiling faces out there checking it out. Well, that's going to do it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look over downtown Jamestown. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow live at noon.